My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American.
As a native Black American and a proud member of the Muscogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. Help me help you discover your roots with a personalized genealogy consultation. Paper trail genealogy matters. DNA tests can't prove ethnicity or tribal affiliation. You must search through paper records to dive deep into your family heritage. During the meeting, I will teach you how to navigate the genealogy process with ease. You'll learn how to link tribal affiliation with your ancestors, and I'll show you the step-by-step process I went through to gaining tribal citizenship. Take the first step to unlocking your past. To book a consultation, send an email to mike@keymediapro.com.
Okay, so the people you come from, so I didn't use the word claim, so the people you come from, wouldn't they get a different...
Are you talking about my tribe?
So
Do
would
you
your tribe
maybe want
get
to
something
rephrase
different
that and
versus...
say my tribe? Okay, there you go.
Or wouldn't your tribe get something
question?
different than the people who descend from the African slaves that were brought over?
I don't understand your question. Not all
Like,
of
would
my
it be
tribal
too- would it-
members were slaves. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, would they get different set-asides based on the fact that they were two different groups?
Would who get two different set-asides?
The people you come from.
All right, guys, I'm just gonna try to get to a conclusion with him because I'm just losing brain cells talking to him at this point. I'm sorry. It goes like this: if you were a slave in America, regardless of your ethnicity or heritage, you should be due reparations. Whether you are a European that descends from the 300,000 European slaves that came over, or whether you're an African and descend from the 300,000 African slaves that come over, or whether you're a native Black American who was reclassified and placed on plantations, regardless of your ethnicity, your phenotype, or your DNA genetic makeup, if you can trace your lineage to a slave on an American plantation, then you should be owed reparations. It's that simple.
I didn't really ask that. I was just saying, would they have different types of? I didn't say they wouldn't deserve it. I'm just...
You tell me, what
have
different types of reparations do you think people should receive, sir? You tell me.
I would say, like I was telling you before, Native Americans typically sign peace treaties with the United States. That was the typical agreement with them.
You're not giving an answer. Make it simple, give it fast, make it quick. You're pondering over whether certain slaves should get a different form of reparations. So tell me what the difference is. Should African slaves get 400,000 and native slaves only get 200,000? What the fuck are you talking about? Plainly state what the difference in reparations package is that you're proposing.
Knowing that Native Americans are genetically more tied to East Asians, how did you draw the conclusion that we're more tied to them, knowing that we don't have East Asian ancestry?
How did you come to the conclusion that Native Americans are tied to East Asian ancestry?
Genetic science that proves that they were African, or that they were Black.
You said there's what kind of science?
Based on the genetics that were done, like as far as like matching up their DNA with other people from around the world, they figured out that East Asians have more in common with Native Americans that we know of today.
Okay, so the answer to your question is twofold. For one, and actually this brother did such a thorough job giving us so many receipts. Let me just go ahead and bring him back up as a source. And this video we just watched, it went through what the 3 different races of Native Americans are. So let's go ahead and start by going through those 3 different races, since I guess you must have missed that part. How many indigenous root races of human species are there? Oh, no, wait, this is human species. Let's get to the Native Americans specifically. How many indigenous, what race of Black Americans? What race of Negroes actually represent indigenous mean? Term Indian, Amerindian. No, it's not this one. I think it's the whole next page. Hold on, guys. Let's get to the next page. Here we go. So it says right here what the three different races of American Indians are. There were the Anusazi, aka the Amerindian, aka the Negro people, which are the original, oldest, and largest with a population of over 500 million. And these were, the people in the north and southeastern area. They were the mound builders, the eastern woodland peoples. Then there was also the southwestern plains Indians, which were the first migrants. They migrated from Asia. So, when you say, hey, well, what about those Native Americans that have an Asian lineage? Well, out of two of the three races of Native Americans, two of them come from Asia. The Southwestern Plains ones were the first migrants from Asia, and then the Alaskan natives are a mix of the Asian and the Black natives. And furthermore, if your source is DNA, we've already proved, so many DNA scientists have even come out and said DNA cannot tell you your ethnicity.
Ethnicity, entertainment value only, entertainment value only, entertainment value only, entertainment value only.
William Gilliland is a biology professor at DePaul. He says DNA kits can be great for connecting family members and finding relatives, but the science for ethnicity testing isn't as concrete.
There's nothing that confident for ethnicity. There's no diagnostic nucleotide you can say this person.
There's no diagnostic nucleotide. There's no way for you to definitively say this person's from here, this person's from there. Don't believe me. Believe the scientist, the doctor.
Diagnostic nucleotide, you can say this person is from Europe, this person's from...
As concrete.
There's nothing that confident for ethnicity. There's no diagnostic nucleotide you can say this person is from Europe, this person's from Africa.
It's exciting to make discoveries like this, but if they're not true, it's heartbreaking.
So the Black woman did the DNA test. It said she was a Jewish woman. Let's see what the lizard's DNA says.
And so with the help of my wife, we extracted enough saliva to send off in the mail. We were so excited to see the results. After about 3 months, we were shocked. My lizard was 51% Ashkenazi Jewish. He was also 48% West Asian. This was really interesting. They also gave us a little bit of his background and his history, what he liked to eat, etc. Let us know which animal's DNA we should send in next.
Yeah, so again, to answer your question of, well, how do so many Native Americans have Asian DNA? Well, if I'm going to play devil's advocate and put on the tinfoil hat and say DNA can tell you your ethnicity, well, God damn it, we already know that there's many indigenous tribes that were some of the first immigrants from Asia. And we also know that DNA cannot tell you your ethnicity. So either way you slice it, there's the answer to your question. Do you have a fifth question, sir? Dre, are you still there? Did we lose you?
Wait a minute.
Are you there, Dre?
Oh, did you mute me? Yeah.
No, actually, I was
so
trying to
knowing
unmute
that there
you.
are two.
Yeah. So I was asking if you have a fifth question.
Yeah, I do.
Your mic is breaking up pretty bad.
Knowing that there isn't. Nah, no, I think you're lying. Can you hear me?
No, I mean, everybody can hear your mic fading in and out. Guys, put a 1 in the chat if his mic sounds choppy.
Can you hear me?
No, that sounds better.
Okay. So knowing that the people that you claim were already here, like the Black indigenous people versus the African slaves that were brought over here, wouldn't those two groups have different justice claims as far as like the reparations argument in terms of what people are making?
Can you say that again?
So knowing that, the people that you claim were here before, the transatlantic slave trade, like the people that, the Black indigenous people that you said were here, wouldn't that be a different group from the African slaves that were brought over here in terms of the reparations claim?
How would that be a different group if so many Black Native Americans were reclassified as Negro and other slaves and placed on plantations?
Well, because you said they were
So
already
hold
here.
on, Dre. It's like this. It's like this. It's like this, right? It's like this. Let's say Mike TV is an African slave on a plantation, and because of that, I should get reparations. And you know what? There was another slave alongside me, and he was misclassified as Negro. People thought he looked just like me and my African brothers and sisters, and his name was Dre, but he was Aboriginal. Well, you know what? Since Dre was on that same plantation working for free 99, Dre would still be entitled to reparations, right?
But different types of reparations.
Why, if you were a slave on a plantation, why do we need to discriminate on what reparations package you get on? I don't understand that. A slave is a slave.
But you said that there were already Black people here, so that you said they're indigenous, like they're Native American, right? Most Native Americans will sign peace treaties and they would do other things versus other people. So I'm thinking, like,
I don't know what you're talking about now. Now it just kind of
Didn't they
seems like
sign peace treaties?
nonsensical rabble.
didn't they sign peace treaties like the Native Americans that you claim to be a part of?
I don't know what you mean with this claim stuff. Who's claiming to? Who am I claiming to be a part of? I don't get it.
Well, you said you're a part of the Muscogee tribe, right? Or maybe got a membership.
Sir, I am a Native American. The government recognizes that designation. All my documents have that designation. Matter of fact, I just left the reservation where I got a discount at the dispensary because I showed my citizenship. So, goddamn it, if you're gonna continue to be on my stage getting so much free game from me, then you can stop with this whole tongue-in-cheek, oh, you claim this and you claim that. I mean, I've already got enough out of you that I need. We've already answered about 5 of your questions or so. So, guys, I'm gonna give you the luxury of choice as always. When I'm met with such continued disrespect, I like to give an ultimatum. And the ultimatum that I would think that I would give this man is he either needs to either refrain from referring to my Aboriginal lineage altogether, or when he references it, he needs to stop using the word claim and he needs to identify me appropriately. That's the ultimatum I want to give him, but I know if I give him that ultimatum, he's going to act like a chicken shit and he's going to flee the stage. So guys, here's what we do. Although I am a prideful man and I want to stand on business and give him that ultimatum, if somebody drops a 5 on the Cash App or the PayPal, I will refrain. I'll just hold my tongue. I'll let him rock out. We'll answer 5 more of his questions, and you guys can continue to be entertained by his ignorance. So go ahead and drop 5 if you would like to continue to be entertained by our resident court jester. Or don't send a 5 if it's cool for me to just give him that ultimatum that we know he's not going to accept. And while we wait to see what the audience wants to do, let's go ahead and I think I feel like listening to a little tune. That's what I'm feeling like. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. The Roman Colosseum has spoken, and they say off with his head. So, sir, you're not worth $5 to my audience. So we're gonna go ahead and give you an ultimatum. If you want this conversation to continue, albeit briefly, you're either going to refrain from my indigenous heritage altogether, or you're going to acknowledge it in the correct, respectable manner. What say you, sir? What say you?
I don't mind respecting it in a manner, but how do you want me to respect it in a manner?
Oh, you don't have to throw claim in front of it. Since we know it's not a claim, it's a reality.
Okay, so the people you come from, so I didn't use the word claim, so the people you come from, wouldn't they get a different...
Are you talking about my tribe?
So
Do
would
you
your
maybe
tribe
want
get
to
something
rephrase
different
that and
versus...
say my tribe? Okay, there you go. You're
Or wouldn't
loving.
your tribe get
What's
something
your question?
different than the people who descend from the African slaves that were brought over?
I don't understand your question. Not all
Like,
of
would
my
it be
tribal
would it...
members were slaves. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, would they get different set-asides based on the fact that they were two different groups?
Would who get two different set-asides?
The people you come from.
All right, guys, I'm just gonna try to get to a conclusion with him because it's just I'm just losing brain cells talking to him at this point. Sir, it goes like this: if you were a slave in America, regardless of your ethnicity or heritage, you should be due reparations. Whether you are a European that descends from the 300,000 European slaves that came over, or whether you're an African and descend from the 300,000 African slaves that come over, or whether you're a native Black American who was reclassified and placed on plantations, regardless of your ethnicity, your phenotype, or your DNA genetic makeup, if you can trace your lineage to a slave on an American plantation, then you should be owed reparations. It's that simple.
I didn't really ask that. I was just saying, would they have different types of? I didn't say they wouldn't deserve it. I'm just...
You tell me,
would they
what
have
different types of reparations do you think people should receive, sir? You tell me.
I would say, like I was telling you before, Native Americans typically sign peace treaties with the United States. That was the typical agreement with them.
You're not giving an answer. Make it simple, give it fast, make it quick. You're pondering over whether certain slaves should get a different form of reparations. So tell me what the difference is. Should African slaves get 400,000 and native slaves only get 200,000? What the fuck are you talking about? Plainly state what the difference in reparations package is that you're proposing.
I don't know the exact number on that, but what I'm
then
saying...
you don't know what you're talking about. And maybe what you should do, since between our last interaction and now, you did a little bit of research and tried to come a little bit harder than before, you still got swatted down like a fucking fly. I mean, you're still not a worthy opponent.